Good morning. I hope everyone's having a good day. I want to try to read some more of Esther. And let's see. I did 5. Yeah, okay. On that night could not the king sleep, and he commanded to bring the book of records of Chronicles, and they were read before the king. And it was found written that Mordecai had told of Bigthana and Tertia, 2 of the king's chamberlains that kept the door, who sought to lay hands on the king at Ahasuerus. And the king said, "What honor and dignity hath been done unto Mordecai? Done to Mordecai for this?" Then said the king's servants and that ministered unto him, "There's nothing that has been done for him." And the king said, "Who is in the court?" Now Haman was come unto the outward court of the king's house to speak unto the king to hang Mordecai on the gallows that he had prepared for him. And the king's servant said unto him, "Behold, Haman standeth at the court, standeth in the court." And the king said, "Let him come in." So Haman came in, and the king said unto him, "What shall be done unto the man whom the king delighteth to honor?" Now Haman thought in his heart, "Who would the king delight to honor more than myself?" And Haman answered the king, "For the man whom the king delighteth to honor, let the royal apparel be brought which the king uses to wear, and the horse that the king rideth upon, and the royal crown that is set upon his head. And let the apparel and the horse be delivered to the hand of one of the king's most noble princes, that they may array the man withal whom the king delighteth to honor, to bring him on horseback through the streets of the city, and to proclaim before him, Thus shall it be done to the man whom the king delighteth to honor." Then the king said unto Haman, "Make haste, and take the apparel and the horse, and as thou hast said, do even so to Mordecai the Jew, that sitteth at the king's gate. Let nothing fail of all that thou hast spoken." Then took Mordecai the apparel and the horse, and arrayed Mordecai, and brought him on horseback through the streets of the city, and proclaimed before him, "Thus shall it be done to the man whom the king delighteth to honor." And Mordecai came again to the king's gate, but Haman hasted to his horse, mourning and having his head covered. And Haman told Zeresh his wife and all his friends everything that had befallen him. Then said they wise men and Zeresh his wife unto him, "If Mordecai be of the son of be of the seed of the Jews, before whom thou hast begun to fall, thou shalt not prevail against him, but thou shalt surely fall before him." And while they were yet talking with him, came the king's chamberlain, and hasted to bring Haman unto the banquet that Esther hath prepared. I gotta go get me some dogs. I'm sorry, they like fighting with each other. Oh, good grief. Now this is over. I'm very sorry. My dogs like to fight, and then they get too out of hand with it and start hurting each other. So the king and Haman came to the banquet with Esther the queen, and the king said unto Esther, on the second day of the banquet of wine, "What is thy petition, Queen Esther? And it shall be granted unto thee. And what is thy request? And it shall be performed even to the half of the kingdom." Then Esther the queen answered and said, "If I have found favor in thy sight, O king, and if it please the king, let my life be given me at my petition, and my people at my request. For we are sold and my people, for we are sold, and my people to be destroyed, to be slain, to perish, and to perish. But if we had been sold for bondmen or bondwomen, I had held my tongue, although the enemy could not contravail the king's damage. Then the king, Ahasuerus, answered and said unto Esther the queen, to Esther the queen, Who is he, and where is he that durst presume in his heart to do so? And Esther said, The adversary and thy enemy is the wicked Haman. Then Haman was afraid before the king and queen. And the king, arising from the banquet of wine in his wrath, went into the palace garden. And Haman stood to make request for his life to Esther the queen, for he saw that there was evil determined against him by the king. Then the king returned out of the palace garden unto the place of the banquet of wine, and Haman was fallen down upon the bed whereon Esther was. Then said the king, Will he force the queen also before me in the house? As the words went out of the king's mouth, they covered Haman's face. And Harbona, one of the chamberlains, said before the king, Behold also the gallows 50 cubits high, which Haman hath made for Mordecai, who had spoken good for the king, standeth in the house of Haman. Then the king said, Hang him thereon. So they hanged Haman on the gallows that he prepared for Mordecai. Then was the king's wrath pacified. I'll read some more in just a little bit. That's a good story, isn't it? God always prevails. He never loses. He never will, and he never does. I love you. I hope you have a good day. Thank you. Goodbye.